All right, here we go. We have Frank Dimatteo, former Mafia associate and author of the book, The President Street Boys Growing Up Mafia. Welcome to Vlad TV.
Thank you, Vlad.
Well, you have quite a story. So I kind of want to start a little bit before your time in terms of the history of the area you grew up in. And that is President Street, which is an old Italian neighborhood in Red Hook, Brooklyn.
Yes. Well, Pleasant Street, all of Red Hook or South Brooklyn was all based off the water, longshoremen's. Mostly all longshoremen's had stores or rented or lived in that neighborhood. The docks was the most important. That was the life of the neighborhood. So that's how everything pretty much started from.
Okay, and by the 40s and 50s, the Gallo brothers pretty much took over that neighborhood.
By the late 50s, the Gallo crew started working downtown there in down Red Hook.
Right, and it was three brothers, Larry, Albert, and Joe, a.k.a. Crazy Joe Gallo, who was the leader.
Yes, and the father, Papa Gallo. Don't forget Papa Gallo. He was instrumental in them. And there was the three brothers, yes. There's Larry,
Got it.
Blast, and Joey.
Now, I think this part is a little gray area, but at one point, Albert Anastasia, what exactly was Anastasia's role at the time when he was living?
Albert was the boss of a family from 1950, I think 51 until 57. He was a boss of the Brooklyn family, which now is the Gambino family.
Got it. So the original Gambino family was Anastasia.
Was Anastasia, yes.
Okay. And there was a famous murder that happened in a barber shop in the Sheraton Hotel.
Yes. Well, the way I get it, being around these guys all my life and sitting around one of the shooters, is that Albert had to go. Albert was being crazy like Albert was being crazy like normal. He was selling buttons. He was going after civilians. He was feared, and Vito Genovese and Carlo Gambino, put together the plot to take him out, and they gave the task to Joe Bafacci, and Bafacci put the crew together to take him out, and it happens to be Joe Gallo and Larry, Joe Gelli, and Carmine were the hit squad. I mean, there's arguments that they weren't, but my argument is stronger than other arguments.
Okay. And Joe Gallo was allegedly one of the guys that was involved in that murder. And this murder was actually depicted in the movie The Irishman.
Definitely. Yeah, there's a lot of movies that's depicted in it. Yeah, it was a pretty big hit at the time. Yeah, and Joey was one of the shooters, yes.
Right. And one of the other shooters was Carmine Persico, a.k.a. Carmine the Snake.
Yes. And Joe Gelli and Larry Gallo.
Okay. And Carmine the Snake was considered one of the most ruthless mob bosses in the Mafia's history. I guess he was suspected of personally killing 60 people himself and then ordering hits on hundreds more.
Yeah, I mean, they say that, but I don't think Carmine personally killed 60 guys. But I mean, he's a tough guy. He killed people. I mean, he probably ordered more killings than he actually did. Carmine was no joke. I met him quite a few times, and Carmine was for Carmine. Carmine was one of those like to climb those ladders, and you in the way, you in trouble. So he had no loyalty to anybody above him. So Carmine was a bad dude. But I think numbers are always over the top.
Okay, and ultimately, Carmine the Snake got sentenced to 139 years.
Yes, he did. He got, I think in 1986, something like that, he got in that Windows case. He defended himself. Did a good job, but he lost.
Right. And he was one of the few guys in the Mafia that always kind of remained loyal and never snitched on anybody and so forth.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys like that, and he was one of them. I mean, a lot of guys that doing life bids and long bids that stood loyal to the Omerta. But yeah, he was one of them. He was no joke. He was a real tough guy. like him or not like him, people have different opinions. But in that world, Carmine was, a real guy.
Okay. And at one point, there was a war that started between Frank Gallo and Carmine the Snake.
Between Larry, Albert, and Joey against with Joe Bafacci. What happens with Carmine was originally everybody's with Joe Bafacci. Bafacci's the boss, but they had crews. Carmine was the same crew as Larry, Joey, and Albert, and amongst all the other guys. They won the Johnny Bear Beach Auto. That's who brought them down originally, and then they wound up with being with Frankie. What the fuck is his name? Frankie Shots, and at one point, a lot of scuttlebutt going on. Everybody wasn't happy with Joe Bafacci, and they wanted to make a move to break away. And they went to other captains, they went to other people, they went to Tony Bender and these guys, and they tried to get some support to pull away. And right before that happened, Carmine put an order to kill Frankie Shots, and Joey didn't want to take it, so that gave it made a little animosity amongst the crew. But they sent Joe Gilly and Carmine to go do the killing, and it got done. So right after that was done, then they were even more. They wanted to break away more, and that really started, the breakaway with the Gallos against the Bafaccis, away from the Bafaccis.